That's,
I wanted to let her know.
yeah.
And he was so funny because he's like, "You fucking serious? Like,
I really got to say this.
I really got to say this."
But I bet it made her, you know,
It did.
she's not, my guy's still my guy.
She
He's
did.
all right, you know.
Because that was the thing. She didn't know my mental state. They didn't really know my CO when he first called her was like, hey, Jay's alive. He's been shot in the face, but we don't know yet. So, and then they loaded me on the plane to fly home. And I will tell you, I developed this, probably the biggest fear I've ever felt in my life was this fear of how she was going to handle it, because I hadn't seen myself yet, but I knew, man, I mean, I'm trach, they're feeding me through a stomach tube. I mean, I've got, I'm too weak to move. I've got tubes coming out of everywhere. I'm on all this ICU equipment, and I knew I had no nose. I felt like a monster, and I was really terrified of how she was going to handle that and how my kids were going to handle that. And, unfortunately, good or bad, I'd read a lot of stories about war that knew that, when individuals get wounded, that's an immense strain on the family. And there are unfortunately a lot of spouses who say, I didn't sign up for this. And there are stories of spouses showing up at Walter Reed and Bethesda Naval Hospital and like walking into a room with a severely wounded warrior and saying, nope. And taking rings off and putting them on the table and leaving. So I developed this huge fear of this. And we had been married 6 years, but I was afraid. I was afraid at how she would handle that. And finally we landed. They took me up to my room in the ICU. And the nurse was, I don't know, taking care of me, getting me situated. And she's like, I don't know, she's like, oh, you still have blood in your hair. And I'm like, you have to clean me up. Like, it's like what? Like, dude, you're like totally blown to pieces. Like, what the fuck is some blood in your hair going to make the difference? But I don't know. In my mind, like, hey, you have to make me as presentable as possible for my wife. And my wife at this point was standing outside the door. And she's like, your wife's outside. And I'm like, I'm not ready. And, finally she's like, your wife's still outside. And I was like, okay. And I was so afraid. I expected her to come in and like to be shocked, to gasp, to, I don't know, to not want to be close to me. And my wife is amazing because she came in that room.